We're seeing that the bourse is on upward trend. It's up nearly 1%. Which big counters showed movement today?
Well, yes, that's true. The market has been on an upward trend today. And that's basically because the agricultural sector has been quite vibrant over the last 1 week over till today. This is basically due to, well, the positive sentiments running through those particular counters, whereby we've seen positive corporate actions by Sasini Tea and ROUNDUP. And again, with the rains that are on now, investors are sort of taking positions early enough in some of those counters.
Are you expecting this positive trend to continue for the rest of this week?
Yes, certainly. We do expect this particular momentum to be maintained for at least all through this week, because some of the companies are yet to release their results, and two, there is dealing all through going by the last week's performance and this week and the week that is to come. We are seeing that retail investors are really coming back into the market. I mean, case in point, looking at Safaricom today, we saw a lot of foreign sales in that particular counter, and yet a bulk of it was taken up by the local segment. Well, going forward, we do expect the market to maintain this particular momentum.
Well, apart from Safaricom, which key stocks do you think still holds value?
Pardon? Do come again?
Which key stocks do you think still holds value for this week?
Oh, for this week, well, basically we expect ROUNDUP to give some value. We do expect that Williamson Tea and Kapchorwa Tea are going to really, surprise this market this week. And basically, the value for this week going forward is going to be generated from the agricultural sector,
All right, let's take a look at IMF's visit to Kenya. We've had the IMF head saying that the IMF wants to start rebuilding reserves and tightening spending exactly to build defenses against future crises in East Africa. What do you make of that?
Well, we've seen coming through from last year, where from the back of a global crisis. Well, going forward, I mean, I agree with the IMF sentiments, whereby they are saying that they are going to, in terms of tightening spending and providing the necessary guidance going forward. Well, looking at what the government is doing so far in terms of economic economic growth, whereby it's giving the financial stimulus and looking in terms of the debt structure in Kenya, that we are likely to see a situation whereby the IMF will provide the necessary guidance in terms of policy that is likely to provide the guidance going forward for this year, and up to the budget that is to be read in June this year. We do expect that the finance minister will put into place measures that are going to rejuvenate economic growth that is pegged at 4.5%. So we certainly expect that policy in this country is going to be addressed around that area of ensuring that we attain that economic growth of 4.5%.
Well, when you're talking about policies, what kind of policy reforms are you expecting? What kind of policy reforms are you expecting from the IMF?
Well, we are expecting to see an expansionary policy, if I'm to get your question right. But going forward, we do expect that, particularly from public spending, we are expecting to see some considerable efforts in terms of cutting, in terms of reducing government spending, in terms of reducing government expenditure, in terms of recurrent expenditure. Then going forward, we also seeing that the government is coming up with policies that are going to address funding going forward for this particular year.
All right, let's briefly look at Telkom Kenya. Its users have jumped about 2.5 million. What products does Telkom Kenya have compared to the other companies within the telecom sector right now?
Well, for Telecom Kenya, owing that its big shareholder is the government. I mean, looking at the products that they do offer in terms of the internet products. I mean internet-based products, the mobile telephony, and also the fixed. The fixed line services. Well, for the company, the growth areas that have been driving, say, revenue has been obviously the mobile sales in terms of products that are geared towards mobile telephony, whereby they derive their revenue from airtime. Well, the company is third in the market segment, but looking at what has been happening this week, I mean the news that has been in the papers today, going forward, that particular information is bound to affect the way that particular the way that particular company pushes through the strategy. So going forward, we do expect that the company is going to come up with new products in terms of addressing how it's going to gain the market share going forward. So for Telecom Kenya,